Hello there, everybody. I'm Mr. Empire. This is Let's Play Banjo-Kazooie Gruntys Revenge Part 4. And would you believe me if I told you that we're almost halfway through the game? That's right, we have 25 Jiggies out of 60. Yeah, we're almost halfway done. Alright, now here we have a pad that is totally static down. People that have played the other Banjo-Kazooie games will familiarize that as the Spring Shock Jump Pad, which allows you to basically do a super powerful jump. But we don't know how to use that anymore because Banjo forgot all of his moves between the first and between the first game and this one for some reason, despite the fact that he was able to remember them all between Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie. Oh boy, gold feathers. Yeah, that's right. These are the invulnerability feathers. The red feathers that allow you to fly from the first game, those don't actually appear at all. And we'll be doing the rest of this later where we get all the other notes, and I believe there's a Jiggy up there. But we'll do that whenever we can actually use the invulnerability feathers. Because without the invulnerability feathers, well, it's kind of suicide. And by kinda, I mean totally. Alright, our third Jinjo obtained! We are just getting so much stuff done in Spiral Mountain. Once you have Kazooie, a lot opens up to you. Including this empty honeycomb. And I'll get that Jinjo later, whenever I have the ability to use ice. Now then, let's get a health extension. Alright. Now we will need 8 empty honeycomb pieces. There's only 6 left in the game, actually. So we're halfway done with the empty honeycombs. I mean, really, this is the halfway point of the LP, and it's only episode 4. This isn't going to be super long. Alright, time to do this, Jiggy. Want to access Talon Trot the moment we start up here. Come on, almost there. Almost there. Oh yeah, got it! Just in the nick of time. So, let's see what 3 Jinjos gets us for our hint. Okay. That doesn't really help at all. Except I guess it does mention that you can't access Mumbo Jumbo in this area. That is the hub world. Mumbo Jumbo is only available within the regular worlds themselves. So once again, we almost have twice as many Jiggies as we need. Although I guess last time we outright had twice as many Jiggies as we needed, but yeah. And now that area is opened. That big ol' swamp. Now, the Jinjo Oracle from the last episode mentioned something about a Monster Manor. Sounds much like Monster Mansion of Mad Monster Mansion of the first game. Will it be? Well, we'll just have to find out. But yeah, actually, the Bad Magic Bayou is the area that we opened up, and it's kind of like if you took Bubble Gloop Swamp and combined it with Mad Monster Mansion. So that's pretty crazy right there. Here we go. It's our obligatory scary world of the game. And these guys don't really make a whole lot of sense in this game. In fact, this area, this specific area in particular, has probably one of the worst situations of depth perception in the entire game. It is rather difficult to figure out where you are in comparison to everything else. Oh, and then here we have our little scorpion tail enemies. I don't actually know what their names are, but they act exactly like a whiplash. Huh. Alright, so now we get the Bill Drill. This is a move from Banjo Tooie. In the original game, you also had the Beak Buster, which was like the Bill Drill, except the Bill Drill's better. But yeah, apparently this is supposedly an advanced move. It's not that hard to pull off, really, so I don't know why it constitutes as advanced, other than the fact that Jam Jars taught it to you in Banjo Tooie rather than Bottles in the first game. And Jam Jars did teach you advanced moves. Oh, before I do that, I want to talk to this hill right here. The Rat-a-Tap-Rap. Once again, this is another move that you just start out with in Banjo-Kazooie, and yet here, you don't learn it until World 3. It's some pretty crazy stuff. Now, Bozai mentioned these enemies in his description for the Bill Drill, which you have to shake the control pad to get them off. They're invincible otherwise. The first time I played this game, these guys killed me over and over again because I didn't actually read that part. There's a, in the next world, one of the hints that Jinjo Oracle gives you is to shake around the control pad to get those guys off of you, so at least they bring it up a couple times. So yeah, here we have a soldier gruntling. He's gonna send a bunch of gruntlings at us, which we can use our new Rat-a-Tap-Rap on. It's much more powerful than your other moves. It does 2 damage. Well, yeah, compared to any of your other moves so far. Meanwhile, eggs do less damage than your regular attacks do. Alright, so now we have our Salesman Mouse again. And it's time for another fishing minigame. The controls are exactly the same as the last one. Yeah, you know, one thing that I'd like to see is a 3DS remake of this game. For a couple reasons. First of all, to get rid of the depth perception problems, particularly in this world. Like I said, that area up at the top, it can be kind of tricky because it's hard to figure out where you are. But also, I'd like to just see a complete game. Like, this game has 5 worlds and a hub world. Bring that up to an outright 9 worlds and a hub world so we can get our solid 100 Jiggies. Oh, and by the way, the little green lobsters, those hurt you. And then, you know, the 3D would help for the depth perception of this game. Enhancing the length of the game would help. Getting rid of these mini-game Jiggies, or at least keeping them to just playing each mini-game once rather than multiple times. And, you know, getting other Jiggies in there that are actually interesting to do. Overall, this game has the heart of a Banjo-Kazooie game, but the Game Boy Advance just has technical limitations, which it just can't make a good Banjo-Kazooie game. At least not like the N64 games. The 3DS, however, could easily make a Banjo-Kazooie game just as good as the ones from, well, the N64 days. But really, I guess I'd like to mention something. As of right now, the Xbox One has been announced. Well, it was like a couple days ago at this point. But, you know, basically, I posted on my Tumblr, and I still stand true to this, that the only thing that could get me to possibly buy an Xbox One is Banjo 3E. I mean, really, I'm not interested in FPS games. The system itself doesn't look that interesting. It's just... it's really the only thing that could do it. If they made Banjo 3 and it was only for the Xbox One, I'd probably end up getting it. Because, let's face it, it's Banjo 3. We've been waiting for this game since the N64 came out, and now that's considered... not only is that considered a classic console, but the game system after it, the Xbox, the GameCube, is also considered a classic console now. I really hate this area. Let's hit this guy and try to get health. There we go. That's the exclamation mark honeycomb, by the way. It's called the skill stop honeycomb. Now, the question mark honeycomb, that basically does what we saw there, except with the skill stop honeycomb, it went in order. It went from least health to max health, constantly going forward. But with the question mark, it just goes all over the place randomly. Alright, time to enter Monster Manor, not Mad Monster Manor. Alright, so Monster Manor isn't just a haunted area, but it's also a technological area. Because Klungo. That's just it, because Klungo. Oh, and by the way, there are actually note nests in this game. Just not that many. They're mostly individual notes. Now, we can't use battery eggs yet, so we're gonna have to go over here. Alright, so basically, all you need to know is switch to other egg types by using the R button. And boom, empty honeycomb is ours. And I believe that those are the empty honeycombs for this world, so we've done that. Now, these green guys that you see off to the right over there, we can't do anything to those. They're kind of like the teehees of the first game. Now, the Jinjo Oracle of the last world mentioned that they're only afraid of fire and feathers. Later on, we'll get fire eggs. In the last world, actually. That's when we'll get the fire eggs. And we can use those to defeat them. And, of course, we all know that later on we'll be getting the ability to use invulnerability feathers. That won't be until the next world. And keep in mind that the next two worlds are the last worlds of the game. Also, this is the only world in the game with a Jiggy that requires backtracking. We'll need to have the transformation from the final world before we can actually do one of the Jiggies here. So yeah, it actually has just a little less backtracking than Banjo-Kazooie, and Banjo-Kazooie already didn't have a whole lot of backtracking to work with. Alright, another Jinjo. I might not look at all of the hints from the Jinjo Oracle in this world, because there's probably gonna be another Jinjo or two in this area that if I find them, I'm just gonna go ahead and get them. Alright, now these guys, it doesn't look like they can hit me from all the way over here, but what do you know, they can. Oh boy, it's a boss pad. And it's time to fight a boss. Alright, so remember how I said there were basically only two bosses in the game? Well, it's time to fight the first boss again. Except now, he has an invisibility potion. It doesn't work all that well. Heh, yeah. But guess what? I have the Talent Trot now. And I can run circles around you all day. Oh. Not that I need to use the Talent Trot. He hasn't gotten to the point where he throws them so fast I need to be moving at like the speed of light to dodge him. Uh-oh. Come on, put your shield down. There we go. Yeah, I'm sure you will. And there we go! The third boss of the game was defeated. And it wasn't hard whatsoever. It would be nice if you could defeat these guys in this game, but no, for some reason they made them invincible here. You could beat them in Banjo-Kazooie. And in Banjo-Kazooie you can actually tell where they were. Alright, so we've done pretty much everything within the bayou now. Just one last thing to do, and that's to go visit Mumbo. And grab one of the Jinjos again. Uh-oh. Yeah, the swamp waters, it acts like regular water, but it does damage you over time. There was one pool of green water in Rusty Bucket Bay in the first game that actually acted exactly like this. Unlike the areas where you would normally need the wading boots, which would sort of act like ground that killed you. It would act like water that killed you. Yes. That could mean any number of things, actually. But I guess he's just trying to get you to explore the boardwalks. Which I have, so yeah. Ooh, health. I definitely need some of that. Here's the Jinjo that I missed earlier because I was wanting to go to the Jinjo Oracle before I found this guy. Uh-oh. No? Okay, I got it. Let's just try to refrain from dying if at all possible. Alright, I want to make it back to the Jinjo Oracle before the end of this video, because we are getting pretty close to the end, I think, here. Maybe grab some health? Yeah, there's a little bit. Come on now. Oh yeah, health. Perfect. Alright, Jinjo Oracle, what you gotta say? Yeah, he's talking about the build drill there, which we already learned. So, nice? I have no idea where he's expecting us to find the Jinjos. It feels like the hints that the Jinjo Oracle gives you were just sort of put in at the last minute, just because, oh hey, let's do something extra for finding Jinjos. At least most of the hints feel that way. Not all of them. There are some that are useful, especially in the later worlds. Of course, I guess now at this point, we're at World 3 out of 5, so we're kind of in the later worlds now. Oh my! Where will we find this light? Well, you'll just have to wait until next time. I've been Mr. Game & Pie, this has been Let's Play Banjo-Kazooie Grunty's Revenge Part 4. And I'll see you next time, everybody. Stay sufficiently awesome.